Hello, welcome to a WIP and Chat. My name is Marissa and I do diamond art content. I love doing WIP and Chats, which means work in progress. I am working on Abstract Music Notes by Joseph Klopaka. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm going to say Klopaka. I'm sorry if it's wrong. But I am super excited for this canvas. I do have a unboxing of this coming up in the next couple of weeks, and I'm super excited for you to see it. Let's jump right in. I didn't get to record last week. My husband ended up having a whole week off, so it turned into a family week. And we didn't really do anything specific. We just kind of enjoyed each other's company. He did a majority of the cooking, a ton of barbecuing. At one point, my father-in-law came over, and it was super, super nice and relaxing. I love when he gets extended time off between jobs because normally they kind of stack up on each other, and I miss him. And he works like 2 weeks in a row, and then you'll have like a couple days off and then work like 9 days in a row, you know? So it's always some extended period of time with jobs. So it was super nice. And honestly, I didn't want to take the time away from recording and having him go in his shop, or, you know, he wanted to be home, not disappear into his shop so I can have a quiet house. Not that I can truly have a quiet house, because the kids are home, but he makes big, loud man noises. So, I mean, even his footsteps are heavy. So, yeah, it was a really, really good week. Oh, and I'm using a Diamond Art Club pen. I got the Diamond Art Club placers. I'm using glue dot in here. I normally use the Randa's super sticky putty, but I wanted to try the glue dots again. And then we got the Randa's putty in the this thing. Does things with diamonds. It's a multi-placer. Ooh, another favorite thing that we did was we made s'mores, and I haven't had s'mores in a long time, and we did it over the grill. Like, I took off the grate part so we can get to the flames, and I will put a little video up because they came out delicious. And then we did the first round was with regular graham crackers, and then the second round I got some cinnamon sugar coated graham crackers just to try it and overload. And it was my first time having sugar since like January, like real sugar, and I devoured it for one. It was delicious. But then I got a migraine for 2 days. I still have to say it was worth it. And yeah. Oh man, we also started tutoring for the kids this week, and well, last week. And it's been a full week since it started. And oh my God, it was a disaster the first day. One, we had my daughter go first, and then I had my son, and my son is my youngest. And it was, he didn't understand. He was like, I thought I was here for school stuff. And I was like, well, it's tutoring to do, extra, pay attention and learn some things to prepare you more for first grade. And he was like trying to play video game or like computer educational games while we waited. And by the time it got to his turn, he was kind of just over it. So the second time, we had him go first, and that worked much better. But back to how the first tutoring day was a disaster. One, I showed up to the wrong library. Like, I knew exactly what library we were going to, but out of habit, I drove to the wrong library. Just, muscle memory, and it's one where I normally would go. So I was late, and then I was like frantic late because I get bad anxiety with things like that. So I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. So we finally did the tutoring, and then we go to leave, and my daughter was like, hey, I want to check out a book. And I'm like, oh, okay. I had to go get the library card out of the car. Well, I guess when I went to put my keys in the back, like my back pocket, I had missed my pocket or the lanyard got stuck on something. I don't know what happened, but I ended up locking my keys in the car, and it was about 6 hours later by the time we got into the car. And let me tell you, trying to keep 2 young kids to behave and entertained and make it a fun experience for 6 hours at a library where you're not supposed to run around and you're supposed to be quiet is so hard. We were so exhausted by the time we got home, and it was inside the library, outside the library, wanting to play inside, wanting to play outside. We were thirsty, we were hungry, and they have a vending machine. And then I had luckily brought my half-gallon water bottle. So and it had ice in it, so I was able to refill it. But it was like 110 degrees outside. And when they would get restless inside and we'd have to go outside, you know, it's so hot. But we survived. We sure did. And the reason why it took so long is because me and my grandma, we share the same AAA, and I had never used it before, so I didn't know what phone numbers the stuff was under. Like, my name is on it, but I didn't know, like, for the account number, it was in my car, like my account number and all of that, and I kept calling AAA, and of course I'm Googling the number, and they're transferring me around to some house security thing, and I'm like, no, I need roadside assistance. And then they'd be like, okay, well, we'll relay the message and transfer you. Then they would transfer me to something else, and it would be, you know, we don't do DMV, this and that, like the driver's motor vehicle or whatever. I'm like, I don't need DMV, I need roadside assistance. And then they would transfer me again, and then that person, like, I don't even know where they transferred me to, and then that person would be like, okay, where are you at? We'll send someone out, and then I would wait a few hours and call again and be like, so I'm an hour after the time you said someone would show up, and no one's showing up. And it was just freaking over and over and over. And finally, like, Mama Bear came out. I was hot, I was hungry, I wanted to do a special dinner with my husband, and at this point it wasn't gonna happen because we were gonna cook one of our favorite meals together. And I finally snapped, and I was like, you need to give me the direct phone number to roadside assistance and stop transferring me around and relaying this message, because it is getting lost in translation. Something is not happening, and I do not want to be here anymore. And I love the library, but I was just so over it, and my kids were over it, and I'm pretty sure the whole library was over us. So yeah, finally they're like, okay, well, here, call this number. And I had to call it like 2 times, and it kept directing me to send a text message to my phone, and then the link, I have Surfshark, so if it's like a link that it doesn't really know, or if it says it's not secure, or if it's trying to use my location or something, it won't open, and I didn't realize that at first, so I couldn't get it to work until I turned that off. But once I turned that off, I got someone there in like 30 minutes. And it was funny because I didn't know how long it would take. And at this point, my husband was like, can you just let me come get the kids? He was doing something at the house. And he was like, can I, like, he'd asked a few times, do you want me to come get the kids? And I'm like, no, they said they're on their way. And like, my fear was like, as soon as I would say, yes, come get the kids, they would show up, and then it would be a waste of time. But finally, after this many hours, I was like, do you know what? Yes, just come get the kids. You're finished with doing what you're doing at the house, and it would be nice to, you know, like, I feel bad for them at this point. And he was like, okay. And of course, the GPS sends him to the wrong place. It sent him like across the street to where like the restaurants are. And it's like a main street. And we have really big blocks here. So it's not like you can just walk out of the library and like walk city block to city, like across the city block to city block. No, there's like a trail between it, and then like a wash, and then the main street, and then like a second trail. And you kind of drive around into like a circle thing to get into the other parking lot. So it wasn't even close. But of course, the second he pulls in there, I get a phone call saying, oh, your tow truck has arrived and we'll unlock your car. So I was like, turn around and go home, babe. So the one thing I was trying to avoid so my husband wouldn't waste his time and whatnot, it happened. Like he was like, okay, I had a feeling that was going to happen. I was like, me too. Maybe I should have had you come hours sooner. Because every time they'd be like, okay, someone's showing up in 1 hour. And like, what's 1 hour? I could hang out with the kids and entertain them for 1 more hour. So at that point I was like, no, finish, working on our arrows and our bows, and then we'll go from there. Oh no, my light pad died. That makes me sad. And then we'll go from there. And it just over and over and over again. So I should have just had him come get them the right away, and he could have worked on the arrows that night. But I also wanted to give him a chance to, spend time on his hobby and do what he loves, because he works so much. And then his time at home when we shoot together is him teaching us how to shoot, and he kind of doesn't get to do it for himself. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he'll shoot a few arrows or whatnot, but like it takes time to build our arrows from scratch, or fix the fletchings and whatnot, and do the research it would take to give us new setups. And, like, he wants to try new things and learn about them. And I wanted to give him the chance to kind of do that and have some him time. Because, everybody deserves to have him time. But, of course, he was like, okay, well, thank you. But then he was like, I could come get the kids. And I kept thinking, no, this will be over soon. And it was not. But yeah, I'm so glad the second time, like, worked out, and I don't think the woman, the tutorer, thinks I'm insane anymore. Like, that first day was just, a disaster. I should have expected that, because my anxiety was high, and then I was late and everything on top of that. Like, it was just that perfect tornado of chaos. But she laughed it off the second time we saw it, and she was nice enough to email me and ask if we had gotten home safe and if we needed anything. Oh, and then the day after our tutoring, we had a play date, and the cool thing was it's one of the teachers from the kids' school and then her daughter, which is the same age and was in the same class as my daughter. So I got to hang out with the teacher, and oh my God, I love this woman. She is amazing. We're gonna go swimming with her and her family this weekend too. And then I love that our kids get along too. And I also she was able to give me some tips for the tutoring that I could add on to, because she worked with both my daughter and my son last year. So she was able to give me some tips and stuff to also help with the tutor too. And the tutor is from the same school, so she was they're like, oh, well, we'll email each other. So they've been emailing back and forth, and they both know exactly what each kid needs, where they're at, and all of the information. So they were just able to jump right in and start preparing them for the next year with what their needs are and what their needs that need to be met. And I am so impressed. I love these people, and I want genuine friendships. I don't want just the, okay, thanks for helping with my kids, you're doing your job. I genuinely want to do something nice for them. And then also my daughter's friend is so sweet. I absolutely adore that little girl, and they get along so well. So I'm glad they can maintain that friendship through the summer too. And I get to gain a new friend out of it, because I don't ever want to be that parent oh, hey, I want to be friends with you, because that's weird. They're there for a job. They're not there to make friends. They have 20 other kids to deal with. And I don't want to just make it a hangout session when we're all at the school for a reason. So now I kind of get that chance to be I think you're so cool. Do you want to be my friend? Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. And it was so much fun just letting the kids play and us have that mom time. And we were able to talk just normal adult mom stuff. My husband, he gets it. He's obviously a parent, and I think he's a damn good one at that. But we each do different things, and she's very much just it's different. And she was able to completely relate with things, and we talked so much, and it was such genuine good conversation. We were planning to be there just for an hour. We ended up hanging out for 3, and we didn't even realize it until my husband was so are you coming home? Like, I'm grilling and doing a barbecued chicken on the rotisserie, and I slow smoked it and slow rotisseried it, and it's already done. Like, are you coming home? I was like, yeah. Oh my goodness, and puppy class. So in my last video, I talked about how Charlie might have broken the teacher's or the trainer's finger. Well, it turns out he 100% broke her finger, and I feel so bad about it, but for the working, like, it was covered by the insurance and whatnot, so I didn't have to, like, pay any fees or anything. I offered and was like, what can I do to make this better? And she was like, honestly, there's nothing you can do. It's just, it's part of, you know, this job, and it's covered, so don't even worry about it. And I was like, okay. And she was like, it wasn't, like, on purpose. I'm pushing buttons. I need to get that cover thing. So it was nice, and we've seen her since then. She did have 1 week off, which was the week I didn't record, and then she saw him on Thursday, and we all just, it was such a good training thing. Like, I had kind of not really taken him out in public to do much training. It was a lot of like at home training, so Charlie was super excited, and then he did really good, and then he also got to play with his Rottweiler friend. He was scared of the Rottweiler at first because he's not used to dogs his size. He's used to small little tiny guys. Like, his best friend's a pug. So with the Rottie, it took a little bit, but now they play after class every single time, and it is the cutest thing ever. And we do like training exercises next to the Rottie because they're the same age and they're both doing the teenage defiant thing, and we had them sitting kind of next to each other, and I had to call Charlie, and Bear, which is the Rottweiler, had to stay and only come when his owner called him. So we kind of went back and forth doing that. I got one video of it. I'll put it up. And he did so good. So freaking good. And so did the Rottie. Like, the first time, you know, we did like a little run through of what we were doing, and they both came to each of us as we said come. And then we realized, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't just say come. Maybe we should say, you know, their name and then come. So I would say, Charlie, come, and then only Charlie would come. And then it would be like, Bear, come, and then he would go to his owner. And that worked out really well. In the video, it's just so cute. You can see how, like, he's so perked up and like, I'm here, I'm working, I'm listening, I'm doing things. It was so cute. It was so cute. And it's always like a little rough going right back into training after you've had like a week off, especially since I didn't really take him out in public. I'm normally really good about it, but you know, it was just a week at home with the family and whatnot. So it was really fun. And then we have training again this Thursday. I'm so sad it's coming to an end. So I might do another 12 weeks after this and just keep doing that until he's like 2 years old and more mature, just for the consistency of it, I think is really beneficial. And I've said that before, but I'm still thinking about it. And she agrees. She was like, I would love that. And then also I was like, I like mentioned, I don't really know what I'm going to do with him when we're out. Cause she had mentioned she does like dog sitting, but then I was thinking, okay, she would take him. She's like, no, it will be, you know, I'll do it at your house and I'll include like a house sitting fee on top of it, which thank goodness. So that'll be nice to have someone at the house while I hunt and stuff. And of course I'll be close enough to be able to come back like every other day because I need to do that anyways. I'll be close enough to be able to do that, but I'm excited. I'm more and more excited the closer that we get. Now we have all of our hunts put in. I just have to see if I need to be drawn for archery or rifle, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's talk about my archery update. We have upped my poundage a lot. We kind of did like a quarter turn, which would be like a half pound, like, or a quarter of a pound or something like that for the archery. And then I did really well with that. And then I had moved from, what was it, 20 yards to 30 yards. Well, I decided, and my husband decided, that it was time to actually like move it up. And oh my God, he did a full turn on top of the little turns we had been doing. And now it's not like so hard that I can't do it, but I am feeling it. Like when I had first started, I was so sore because it was hard. And then that soreness had kind of gone away, so I got a little spoiled. And now I feel that soreness again, but it has improved my shooting. Like, you have to keep tension on the back wall the whole time, and I kind of got lazy with it because it was too easy to pull back. And now I am like, pew. And I was able to shoot at 40 yards. Like, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be shooting 40 yards already. Like, I knew I'd eventually get there, and he even said it'll probably take a while to do that. But since we were able to move the poundage up, I was able to do it. And I cannot, like, I'm shocked. I probably shouldn't be as shocked, and I should probably have more confidence in myself for it. But it felt good to make it a challenge again and, you know, move up and progress so much faster than I thought I would originally. Like, at this point, I honestly thought I would have given up by now. And I'm not, and I'm thriving and loving it. And my kids, too, like, they both each moved back from, I think my daughter's at 20 yards now, or 15?
15.
15? Charlie, quit chewing on my wall, dude. Go find a bone. Yeah, no, she's at 15 yards now. And then I think we're at the point where we have to up her poundage a little bit, and maybe, yeah, we have to adjust her draw length a little bit, because the draw length is how far you're able to pull it back based on how long your arms are. And I think she just went through a growth spurt, so it looks like she's drawing short, which could mess up, one, how strong the poundage is. It's almost harder if your draw length is too short, because you have to hold it like closer or further away from your anchor point. So it makes it harder to draw, but also can make for inconsistent shooting, because if you're not aligned right, everything is off. So I think we need to do a little bit of both, adjust the draw length and up the poundage, because she was doing so good for so long, and then now it seems like things are getting a little wonky. And we had just adjusted it for my son, and same thing, same freaking thing. I think he's already grown out of his draw length. He's eating my wall. That's ridiculous.
More like the floor.
Well, on the tile, yeah. Ooh, and speaking of shooting at 40 yards, I got a friggin' bullseye. And it was one of my last shots, so I think it was more luck than actual, like, anything else. But still, I got a bullseye at 40 yards. Ah, man. I did like a happy jig, and my husband, he was like, he did a whoop, you know, the happy whoop, the whoop, like hands in the air, fist in the air of like, you did it. And it was an accomplishment, and it felt so good. Freaking bullseye. I would have taken a picture, but my phone was dead, and he had his phone inside the house, and I wasn't going to walk all the way in the house just to go get a picture. I wanted to try shooting again. My father-in-law took the kids one of our nights for our like week that he had off, so we can have like a date night. And we had these plans. We were gonna play Uno and, you know, turn it into a whole date night. But by the time the kids were at my father-in-law's, which was like 4 o'clock, we kind of just ate some food and lazed around and kept the house quiet and didn't really do anything. We didn't even play Uno. And it was so relaxing and so nice. And also, like, it gives you that chance to kind of miss your kids a little bit. We were able to talk and reminisce. And the cool thing was, you know, sometimes your phone, or if you have like a backup online thing, like I have, what is it called? One something, I don't know. It's one of the photo backup online thing. OneDrive, I think it's called. And every once in a while it will like make, like I have a collage thing on my phone, and it made like a memory collage or whatever happened on this day or this month or whatnot. And it was kind of that mixed with like the Snapchat one. So I ran it through, and this generator thing, and we were able to look back on memories for the last 10 years pretty much of what had happened in June from like the time we met to now. And my son's birthday is in June, so we got like old birthday pictures, days from when he was born, and times when my daughter was super little and like one of the first times of her holding her brother and just like the whole memory thing, and it just led to hours of conversation about it. Goodness, this dog wanted to chew on my tile again. I normally record later and then have him in the crate where it's his nap time, but I woke up extra early this morning so that I could record, and I did. We did a training session, we did a play session, we got to walk around the house for a while. Like, he should be tired, not like doing things to do things to get attention. Like, man. So I put his collar and leash on him, and I'm making him lay next to me. And this could be considered another training session. I don't know why he's chewing on the wall or the tile. Like, he hasn't done that before, but I think it's because I'm not giving him my 100% attention when this is normally the time that I would. This dog and his schedules don't stray from it, I'm learning. But he's got to learn. Like, it can't always be 100% this at this time exactly, because, you know, yes, I try to keep a schedule all the time with him because he needs it and I need it, and I know he's right at that age he can get destructive, but man, do I see it when I do try to do something a little different. But I did try to compensate for it. Like I said, we threw the ball, we played tug, we played with his new tire. Speaking of his new tire, I'll put a little video up of what a dodo brain he turned into when I gave it to him, because he loves his new tire. His old tire I left it out in the sun, I think, too long, and left it outside, so it kind of dried and was starting to crack, so he needed a new tire anyways, and this one has like ropes tied around it. Oh my god, it's so cute. Anyways, back to my wall. So yeah, now he's sitting next to me with his collar on and leash, and he looks like he is working. He is on full alert. It's super cute. Oh yeah, as I was saying, the hours of conversation and just reminiscing, it was the perfect date. Like, you know, sometimes you want to go out and do something and whatnot. Like, this is, I'd have to say, not like all dates with my husband are good, but I'd have to say this one was definitely one of my favorites. And then he fell asleep early and I was able to finish the mystery kit number 52 from Diamond Art Club over the weekend too. So I'll have a post review coming of that in like the next couple of weeks too. So it was just the perfect day. Perfect day, perfect ending to the weekend just before he had to go back to work. And it was fun. It was amazing. I 10 out of 10 recommend. Go through and like put all your memory stuff from all of your stuff, whether it be from Facebook, iCloud, whatnot, from different places, and put them all together and just like watch the recaps of it. And yeah, highly suggest. Great conversation starter, great memory lane. I can't suggest it enough. On to the next subject. I have been watching Ghost Hunters still every night, and I just have to say, Zach is a douchebag. Like, I cannot stand this man. But there's something about the show that I can't stop watching. So Nick Groff is also one of the investigators on it, and I guess he kind of separated off of that show and started his own. So I started watching it thinking, like, you know, I like him in Ghost Adventures, and I thought that I would enjoy his show more because Zach just drives me nuts. And surprisingly, I like Ghost Adventures better than Deathwalker, Walker Dead. I don't remember what the name of his show was. I only got through one episode. But man, something about Zach just makes the show, even though I cannot stand him. And there was nothing wrong with Zach's show. It was good. He got to the point. But I think I need to finish Ghost Adventures at least to where when he takes off and makes his own show, and then kind of do it in order that way. Because it felt like something was missing. You know what I mean? So I might enjoy it more once I understand more of what happened or how the show progresses and how he's not on the show and what happens and whatnot. But yeah, Zach is annoying, but I gotta do what I gotta do, and I'll keep watching it. I do have to say, I am a believer of ghosts. I mean, it makes sense to me. You know, we're spiritual people. Like there's that aspect of, is there more? I think that it just makes sense to me. When people pass away, are there parts of them that stay? Are there parts of them that always go? Are they at peace? Like it makes sense to me that there's more. that there is an afterlife, that, you know, I don't know if there's a heaven, I don't know if there's all of that, but there might be. Like, it makes sense to me that there would be, because, you know, life is just too great. What does freak me out, and like the thought of ghosts like freaks me out, but it's not like it scares me. Like I said, it makes sense. Like, do I want want to be possessed or anything? No, like that's creepy to me, but it makes sense. What does absolutely terrify me is like UFO and like alien and the stuff out in the sky and the galaxy and like the weird phenomena there. Nope. Like, that actually scares me. If I see something, and I've seen some weird things in the sky too, but that is more scary to me than a haunting. Like, I think that there's a ghost in my house. It's been going on since, I don't know. My grandparents moved into this house when my mom, I think, was 6. So my mom and my uncle grew up here. And then I grew up here, you know, because it's a generational home. And now me and my kids are in here. And my mom said, like, she's seen things in this house from when she was growing up, and it just became the norm. My uncle, too. I brought it up to my grandma, and she's like, yeah, it'll just stare at you in the room. And it'll walk down the hallways, and it'll walk into the kitchen. And if it doesn't get attention, or if it feels like the house just got too comfortable, things will fly around in the kitchen or drop. Like, just conversationally, like, yeah, it's part of the home, you know, and so it's there. I can't deny that. And it's something that's never scared me or made me uncomfortable. My husband, I tried to tell him before we switched houses, because we have a guest house on the property. Grandma's in the guest house now, and we're in the main house. But when we started, we were in the guest house making sure it was ready for Grandma. And then when our family got a little bit bigger, we went into the main house and put her in the guest house. Well, my goodness, he did not understand this ghost thing. Like, I think he thought we were over exaggerating, or, you know, but he would, hold on, I need to get a drink. My mouth is getting dry. He would hear things moving around in the house at night, or like see something from the corner of his eye walking down the hallway, or going from the hallway where the bedrooms are into the kitchen thinking it was a kid. Or there was a toy ball gun that we had gotten for our Doberman before that we kind of just forgot about, that was on the shelf above. Like, we have the cabinets above the fridge, and then, you know, it's a flat shelf, so there's no way, if a square box is sitting on a flat shelf where there's a lip, because you know how, I'll use this as an example. Like, there's the shelf is under here, right? So let's put it this way. The shelf is under here, and then you have the top of the shelf that you can also put stuff that's visible, that doesn't have like a cabinet to open and shut down here. So we got this, but it also has a lip. But we had the box that the ball gun goes in here. Well, next thing we know, it literally flew off that, went over the fridge, because, you know, it has the cabinet and then the fridge, and then landed on the ground. And he was like, are you kidding me? What is this? You know, and then he would pace the house at night and crazily check the doors, and he would see it moving around constantly. And finally he brought it up to me, and I was like, honey, I warned you and I told you about this. This is just the normal part of the house. Like, it never, like, I don't think about it anymore. I don't really notice it, or if I do, it's like, oh, okay, hi, and leave it there. Like, I don't get any bad juju from it or feeling from it, but whatever. He was just like, I cannot, like, he was like, I should have taken you seriously. And then I think he talked to my grandma about it. I'm not sure. He had my mother-in-law come over, because she is a very spiritual person and whatnot. And he was like, she'll calm it down. She'll make it so it's not as active, because it was getting crazy, like throwing stuff in the kitchen and making noise and standing in the room. And you could feel it watching you through the night. You could feel it walking in the room at times. Like, I keep it pitch black, keep it completely pitch black in my room, but you could see something milkier and darker than the pitch black of the room in the room. And he was like, I can't do this. So she came over, and ever since then she brought some holy water and just kind of hung out and totally like cleansed my house or something, because since then it's been very minimal activity. And like I said, I never really thought much about it, and then until he like talked about it, I would just accept it and be like, okay, well, it's there. But I think because my husband wasn't so like accepting, it was like, nope, I'm gonna fuck with you. And it did. It really, really did. Makes me laugh. Because he knows now and takes me seriously now. Like, he thought, oh no, you're just over exaggerating. Like, that doesn't actually happen. Well, he knows better now. Makes me laugh. I finally finished Zodiac Academy a little while ago. Like I said, I didn't record last week, so I'm a little behind, but it was an epic ending. Like, I still highly suggest the series. Do I still think that the Twisted Sisters stretched it out? And I'm talking about the Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. It's a 9-book series, and then it also has 0.5s throughout, so it's actually longer than 9 books. But I think that they could have shortened it by 2 books, but that doesn't change the fact that it was still phenomenal, and I still highly suggest it. When I finished it, it was more of a relief of like, oh, it's over, but I still had to know the ending. Yeah, so I am thrilled that I finally finished that. I needed a break from the high fantasy world. So I'm reading more of a contemporary motorcycle club romance book series that's darker. It's by Christina Robbins. Here, I wrote it down. Hold on. Yes, it's by Cassandra Robbins, and it is the Disciple series. I am already on book 4, and like I said, I'm rereading it because book 5 is out, and I didn't realize that it came out in like 2022. I kind of start series, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come back to this when the rest of the series comes out, or when the next book comes out. Like, I'm terrible at like keeping track of it, so I tend to try to stick to books series that are already complete, like, because I'm a binge reader too. So I think this year has really been like the rereading season of life for me. One, because books are expensive and I prefer audiobooks, so it kind of gives me a chance to save money while still getting that fix for some story. But yeah, it is a motorcycle club series. It is a little bit dark, but it's good and I'm enjoying it. I definitely enjoyed it the first time I read it, so it's no surprise there. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I don't know what I'm going to read again after this once I finish the 5th book, so we'll see when it gets there. I do have credits that I'm going to use. Oh no. Go there. Stay. I do have credits that I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm going to go back into fantasy or not. I think I want to go through, because sometimes Audible will have like series that you can buy, like the whole series, like 4 books for 1 credit bundles if the authors have that available. And I think I want to try to find something like that, because I hate spending a whole credit on a book that's like 5 hours. I started this Disciple series like years ago, like as it was coming out. So that's why I'm doing that. And they're not too short. And not that there's anything wrong with them, short books, but I'm greedy and I prefer longer books. Otherwise, it can get real expensive real fast. Although I do love that Audible has the option to buy 5 credits now for a deal instead of just the 3. Because for the longest time, it was either buy 1 credit and then buy 3 credits. And now they have the option to buy 5, which makes me happy because... yeah, and I don't feel like I'm buying like 6 credits a week and spending more money. Like, I can just buy my 5 and then be good for the month. Because I'm trying to cut down on that so I can afford, you know, diamond painting and stuff like that. So I'm trying to reduce my spending on books, which is hard. It is so hard. And I actually got rid of my Kindle Unlimited. I think I talked about that in one of my other whips. The struggle is real, so I'm still taking advantage of the free Booksy and whatnot. So I'm still getting my books that way, and it's beneficial. But audio is where it's at for me. Oh, this is going to be TMI, but as most of you know by now, I live in Arizona and it is 1,000,000 degrees and I've been struggling to find a deodorant that works, and I finally caved and was like, fine, I will try native deodorant. It's expensive. It's like 14 or 15 bucks per whatchamacallit per container of deodorant, and it is amazing. It works so good and so well, and some of the scents are just amazing. So I feel bad now for sleeping on it because it works so well. I even got my husband hooked on it, and it's a win. It's a win all around. I have like the peach scented one right now and freaking love it. I highly suggest it. I kind of avoided trying native for a long time because I see a lot of sponsorships for it, and I feel like sometimes with sponsorships it could be skewed, like, here, try this, and then at times, like, when they promote it so much, it's like, it's, oh, because they're getting paid. No, in this case, I really think it's true. I did try, like, the shampoo and conditioner for native, and I hated it. I hated it, and I think that's another reason why I also was like, nope, I don't want to try the deodorant. The other hair stuff did not work for me. But I digress. It's amazing, and I should have jumped on it a long time ago. I do want to try their body wash. But yeah, so I was just super impressed that I wasn't stinky super fast since I've gotten it. And worth it, 100%. I'm sorry for the TMI, but if you're in a hot, dry area and you're having a hard time, or if it's super humid and sweaty, try native, the deodorant. If you have any other suggestions, I am 100% for it because, man, I don't know what happened to my body in the last, year or so, but my regular deodorant just stopped working and it sucked. I was like, what is happening? I don't know if it's because my whole diet, exercise, health regime changed or what, but everything. It was just, I needed to adjust my face wash, my whole thing, everything that I was using before, I had to change. I'm still looking for like a face wash. It's wild how your whole body can just change like that, and things that worked for you for years just stop. It still amazes me. And especially since we are in a heat wave and it has been consistently like, start off like, oh, okay, it's in the hundreds, it's not too bad, to bam, 110 plus. It's insane. I hate it. But I also kind of love it because I don't know anything different. So yeah, there's that. I think I'm all about done. Ooh, one more thing. I hear the cicadas out, and that means, like, yeah, we're in a heat wave, and yeah, it's 1,000,000 degrees, but that means the monsoons are coming, which means it's about to start raining and cooling off, and I love the sound of cicadas, so I'm super excited. Like, it's about to get super pretty again, and I hope I can get some good pictures and, like, videos of, like, the hard rains that we get here. Like, yeah, I have to watch out for floods, too, but it's going to be epic. I hope we have another really good rainy season because one, that'll make hunting better, and two, it cools it off and it brings us some color here. And on top of that, the smell. If you've never smelled like the desert rains, especially with like creosotes and the dust and the just everything when it gets damp and wet, smells so good. I wish I could just like bottle it up. All right, and the last part, I am going to do a shameless plug because I'm still pushing it and really want to do this. I want to tell your story on why, how having a hobby has helped you and the benefits it's had for you, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, or anything like that. I want to be able to share the word and be like, oh, it's not because it's just pretty, or, the benefits are so much more than just doing something for the enjoyment of doing something. And I want to share that. So if you'd like me to help spread the awareness of having a hobby, especially one like this, and the true benefits it could have, email me at diamondsandthoughts@gmail.com. I can keep you anonymous. All you have to say is, hey, keep me anonymous, and I'll do it. I haven't had any takers yet, but someday I will. And thank you for watching. If you liked this type of content, consider liking and subscribing. Have a good day. Bye.